Hey guys, and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. Today we are doing something a little different. I wanted to try something new and interesting with some smaller and perhaps more practical builds. If you are a regular watcher, you'll know that probably 99% of my builds are designed for a PvE or roleplay environment, and most of them aren't necessarily all too viable for some players, especially solo players. However, today's video will provide not one, not two, but three different builds that I think almost any player could use, especially solo players. These builds are designed to be small yet useful builds that can be used either as temporary housing, or an outpost, or a starter base, and I've tried to integrate them into the environment as best as possible. But first, of course, we do have to thank the sponsors, and today's sponsor, as always, is NordVPN. If somehow you haven't heard of them before, NordVPN offers the best VPN service available, featuring super fast servers in 60 countries, no data logging, 24/7 customer support, double data encryption and more to ensure you always stay safe on the internet. With unlimited bandwidth, a lightweight Chrome browser extension, and the ability to use Nord on up to 6 devices at a time, including mobile devices, NordVPN is the best way to protect yourself and stay anonymous on the internet. It's simple to use, one click and you are both connected and protected. NordVPN is great, and it's also one of the best ways to support me. Each video I make takes between 8 and 12 hours roughly to make, so when you purchase NordVPN through my link, you really do help me out a ton. You can get 70% off NordVPN when you visit nordvpn.org/eradyt, or use code eradyt at checkout, which comes to $3.49 a month, which is about £2.80 in the UK. Which, regardless, is a great price for the service. As always, a massive thank you to Nord for sponsoring this video. So, without further ado, let's get started. Firstly, we are going to start off with a build at the base of this tree in the northern swamp, just north of the lower staging area. We'll be taking this large passageway underneath the tree and building a house directly underneath the opening to create a decently camouflaged yet actually fairly large house. This could be done in other trees in the surrounding area with smaller gaps, as I think this one is a little more obvious, and if you're going for more of a stealth build, this probably wouldn't be the best choice of location, but this area does work quite well. I started off with filling the base of the tree with stone brick foundations, and then using wooden walls up around the sides of the build, whilst also trying to keep the natural texture of the tree prevalent throughout the build. Otherwise, what's really the point in building inside a tree? This build is a half and half in a way, in that one half of the build has 2 floors, whereas the other has 1, with the first floor section sitting above the entrance room. The entrance room is at the front of the build. The front of the build is quite forgiving, as there is a much larger gap at the front between the top of the 2 tile high walls on the first floor and the tree, meaning I can build a little higher and allow for the first floor. I added roof pieces where necessary with wooden roof and corner pieces, but overall this is a really simple build. Once I'd furnished this build, it improves the house by leaps and bounds. Entering the build, we first reach the entrance room, and this includes not only a small dining area, but also a small Wheel of Pain, meaning this build could work well as a thrall outpost. Throughout the rest of the build there is a small yet efficient kitchen, along with a small workshop, a clan bedroom on the first floor, and a storage section right at the back of the build for keeping the valuables safe. Overall, this build actually looks small on the outside, but it's a lot bigger on the inside, and is quite roomy. I could see myself living here for a short while. Next we are in the Central Highlands, just northeast of the breach, building a tiny cave house. This is by far the smallest build in this video, so it works far better as a temporary emergency home rather than a permanent one. I first filled the cave with wooden foundations and then built stone walls on the outside and capped off the gaps with ceilings. There's no hope of a first floor in this build, we're lucky enough to get a 2-tile high ground floor. When it's furnished, however, this tiny build actually proves quite useful as a temporary base. I once had to build a temporary base when I was playing Ark, and it was something similar to this in the environment, and it actually worked quite well. With such a low build cost and reasonable camouflage in the nearby area, this base is a nice, if slightly cramped temporary house that provides a place to rest, cook some food and plan your expansion through the Exiled Lands. Finally we head over to the west for a base in the Shattered Springs. Now to build this base you will need to wear a sandstorm or setite mask the whole time, or you'll be choked by the toxic gases in this area, which actually do act as a nice natural defence for this build. We are building in a small subchamber of the lowest section of the springs. This lowest section is masked in quite a dense fog, which helps keep this build hidden. I built this base using Aquilonian to suit the nearby environments. General construction idea for this build is a smaller circular tower design with an indented front, and a small back staircase to lead to the deepest part of the Shattered Springs. This build has 2 floors with a 2-tile high ground floor and a 1-tile high first floor, with a balcony on the first floor as well, though you could expand this balcony out and actually create more habitable space on the top floor. This build isn't as integrated into the environment as the others. In fact, if you didn't really care for the tower design, you could just build a small rectangular base to sit between the small passageway between the lowest part of the springs and this small subchamber. However, it is well protected and hidden in the Shattered Springs, and could work as a decent farming outpost for farming up the brimstone in the nearby area. When the build is finished, the build feels and looks far better. I've managed to squeeze actually a good couple of workbenches into the build, along with a small bedroom on the top floor accessible through the ladder. And there we have it, 3 small practical builds in the Exiled Lands. Thanks for watching. I thought I'd try something a bit unique for this video, and I do like how these builds came out, especially the small cave home in the Highlands. Though it is very, very small, that one is probably my favourite. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like and let me know in the comments below if you have any build suggestions for future videos. As usual, absolutely anything is welcome. Don't forget to both follow me on Twitch and join the fun on our Discord through the links in the description. Also, again, don't forget you can get 70% off NordVPN when you use code ERADYT at checkout, or you can go through my affiliate link at nordvpn.org/ERADYT in the description or the pinned comment below. YouTube is currently my full-time source of income, so if you enjoy the content and would like to help support the channel so I continue to put out the best content possible, do consider becoming a patron. There are multiple tiers of support from $1 to $20, offering many different benefits from a mention in every video to Discord roles, and even sneak peeks of every new video before anyone else. The link to my Patreon is always in the description, so if you'd like to support the channel, feel free to consider becoming a patron. Also, whilst almost all of us are on global lockdown, the video previews, which are usually restricted just to the $20 tier, are now available to the $10 tier as well. So if you do become a patron for $10 a month, you get access to those video previews during lockdown, just so you have some more content to watch. On that note, a thanks to our current patrons Sammy, Sadialot, Randar, Motools and Dawnfox. If you're new here, feel free to check out the rest of the content on the channel. There are new Conan Exiles videos coming every Wednesday and Sunday, so if you like what you see, subscribe and ring the notification bell to be the first to see the next video, and to join us on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.